Episode 4: The Functioning Addict. Most people who aren't addicts picture us as visibly falling apart. It could be the simple observations of seeing a friend spending increasing amounts of time at the bar and missing more days of work because of it. Maybe a co-worker's behavior has been off from their usual demeanor, happier than the setting calls for, or exhibiting signs of anxiety on a frequent basis, or making more trips to the restroom than even the weakest bladder would require. The functioning addict looks nothing like that. They could be your doctor, your lawyer, your colleague, or even the person sitting next to you in church. Addicts do eventually unravel altogether, though. It's just a matter of time. Functioning addicts are oftentimes successful, organized, and professional. The addiction runs alongside their life, not instead of it. Their love for their family is real. Their professional pride is genuine. The disease simply hijacks all of that. People who don't have addictions are able to gamble responsibly, know their alcohol boundaries, and don't stray beyond the lines, and have never even thought about taking illegal narcotic drugs for recreational purposes. To an addict, we are insanely jealous of what you have, and that you take it for granted. I had what you had once, and then destroyed it all with nuclear passion. Even the simplest things, like having a roof over your head and food in the fridge, are taken for granted if you're not an addict. If you're listening to this, please, for the love of God, be thankful for the blessings you have. Practice gratitude for these things in your own way, like saying a daily prayer, doing something kind for a person, taking your dog for a walk on a sunny day, or even just telling your friend, spouse, or significant other how thankful you are to have them in your life. Believe me, it can all vanish in a heartbeat. As a functioning addict, I have first-hand experience with the exhausting energy it takes to maintain two lies simultaneously. Working was the perfect cover. Or, if work was the problem, then imagined and made-up difficulties outside of work are used as excuses to cover egregious behaviors. Every absence away from home was easily explained. Well, let's just call it like it is. The lying became refined in its usefulness. My young daughter tearfully asked why I couldn't come watch her perform in her school play. My son is pretty much ignoring me altogether because he's seen my behavior before and is now immune to my excuses. I am the last person he would turn to if he needed to talk, or had a problem he needed help with. Kids are savvier than you think. Let's not even talk about my much better half, who by this time is wondering whatever possessed her to marry me in the first place, and now contemplating the steps needed to start the divorce process. I had already burned through all of savings by this time. I had spent so much at the casinos that I could well have afforded to buy my own slot machines. My luck was so bad that it made more sense to open the casino door, threw my money through it, and walk away. I have spent thousands of hours for years trying to get that long-ago high from winning a jackpot. I want to take a moment to clarify a couple of things. First, being an addict and having the most vile and disturbing behaviors associated with it doesn't mean they have a personality disorder. Truly, at one point, I thought I was either sociopathic or possessed a borderline personality disorder. I even asked my psychologist later if I was one of those awful disorders. I feared the worst. I had mentally steeled my mind in preparation for the bad news. Nope. Addictions are indeed classified as illnesses in their list of medical conditions. Their Bible of coded ailments is called the DSM-3. It's a thick and heavy book. Certainly, I'm sure it's all accessible in an app somewhere by now, but there is a book. It is what licensed professionals use to code a disease or other ailment to bill the insurance company or patient. To wrap things up here, I was somewhat relieved to be told I wasn't a psychopath who was just days away from buying a well-oiled chainsaw from the local hardware store. My gambling and alcohol addictions led me to make poor decisions and serious errors in judgment in my professional life. I lost my nursing license as a result. It was the consequence I deserved and the wake-up call I needed. The odd thing was, I wasn't so upset that I'd been caught and lost my job, but I was absolutely enraged because in my mind then, I'd done nothing wrong that couldn't be fixed. This is the way of thinking which is common amongst addicts. It's easier to blame someone else than yourself. I shouldn't say that I lost my license altogether, but it was most certainly revoked. I guess I showed sufficient remorse to the powers that be that I was a candidate for a strict treatment plan that would eventually pave the way for reinstatement. Another point about being an addict is that we are capable of being changed. unlike those who are sociopaths, have a borderline personality disorder, or psychopaths. Those leopard spots are on their hides permanently. For addicts, recovery and change are very much in play, but only if the addict finally reaches their own definition of hitting rock bottom, and there is that light bulb flash of awareness. It is truly a do-or-die moment. I've experienced it, sadly, more than once. It's also important to tell you, spoiler alert, that an addict can never be cured. Once an addict, always an addict. This is why GA, AA, and NA meetings are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, around the world. Recovery begins only when an addict can stand up and say out loud to their peers that they are powerless, that their addiction has gotten the best of them, and their life has become unmanageable because of it. They can no longer fool themselves or anyone else. And here is where the functioning addict faces their greatest challenge. Because unlike the addict who has already lost everything visibly, the job, the family, the home, the functioning addict still has something left to lose, and that can make surrender feel even harder. But surrender is exactly what saves them. I know, because it saved me. The content in this video deals with addiction, mental health, and related struggles. If you or someone you know is in crisis or needs immediate support, please reach out. Help is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call or text 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You are not alone.